Hey there, Leslie Sansone Williams coming to you today from Paralegal Coffee Talk on Facebook. Come on over and see us there. And also my new class called Paralegal Inner Circle class. Just go to my website, lesliesansonewilliams.com. The link is below. That will take you to my website, and I have a link to the class as well as to my book called Legal Break-In, which is on Amazon in a Kindle format. So today I want to talk about 10 different types of paralegals. Now, one of the most unusual ones that was a corporate paralegal job, when I worked for my paralegal association as a volunteer, I did their website and newsletter, and I was responsible for posting the ads on the website for the job bank that we had. And one day an ad came in for a paralegal position for NASCAR, and I didn't tell my husband. He's such a NASCAR fan that he would have said, "Go, take that job." But that sounded like such an interesting job to work in, and I think that would have been a very enjoyable one. But there's sometimes paralegal jobs out there that we're just not aware of that are an alternative type of paralegal job, and I thought that one would have been a lot of fun. Other corporate paralegals would be that you work in the oil and gas industry, or you work for a big conglomerate like an Amazon or a Walmart in, I believe it's Bentonville, Arkansas. There are many, many paralegals that work in-house for the Walmart Corporation. So think outside the box as to where paralegals are located. They're not always with a law firm. Big conglomerates, big corporations will have in-house attorneys as well as staff. Because they're so huge, they can afford to do that. So it may be that would be your bailiwick. That would be a place that you want to go. So always be on the lookout. If you live in Bentonville is not a huge city. It's not on the order of New York City or anything. But yet, that's where Walmart's corporation headquarters are, and that's where they have a whole staff of paralegals. So there are always those opportunities out there. Seek them out if that's what you would prefer. And usually the benefits are pretty darn good with the bigger companies. So that's one idea, right? Now, another area of law that is interesting to work in is estate planning and probate. And usually, not all attorneys do probate that do estate planning, but sometimes they do both. Most of my attorneys did, and so I became very familiar, having never worked in probate before. When I moved to Florida, I worked for an attorney who did quite a few probate cases, as well as many wills, living wills, healthcare directives, and trust, simple trust. So other attorneys, I've worked for an attorney who did very complicated trusts with people who had a lot of assets. So that makes it more complicated from a tax standpoint. And he was an expert in that. So the other area that you might find interesting is family law. And it's not always a matter of dealing with divorce, although that's a big part of it, and custody and visitation issues. It could also encompass adoption, and that would be interesting. So think about that. Research it on Google and research what you would be doing. What are the duties of a family law paralegal? Google that. The fourth one is immigration law. And before you jump into immigration law, on all of these, I would research what that paralegal does. What type of documents do they have to be familiar with? The fifth one is intellectual property law, which has to do with patents and trademarks. And they shorten that name to IP, paralegal. So what would an IP paralegal do? Google that. Now, litigation paralegal really has to do with preparing the documents in order to go to trial. Not all cases go to trial, but many do. Many settle out of court right before the trial's ready to go. So while being a litigation paralegal gives you a lot of flexibility to move into other areas of law that involve going to trial, there are so many types of paralegals that have to prepare for trial. Many different areas of law. It could be business law. It could be administrative law. And these are things you should look up on Google to educate yourself. And then educate yourself as to the duties. What does an administrative law paralegal do? What does a commercial law paralegal do? Or business law paralegal do? Or what are their duties, okay? Then real estate paralegal would handle closings. They would also possibly handle zoning issues. There might be a problem between properties and easements. So I would look up the duties of a real estate paralegal. And then bankruptcy paralegal would be a paralegal who handles mostly Chapter 7s and Chapter 13s. And then Chapter 11 would be the business side of bankruptcy. And so if you're interested in bankruptcy, I would Google that and look up what a bankruptcy paralegal's duties are. So these are some of the areas of law that I want you to educate yourself about to see if anything lights your fire. Now, number 9 is employment law, which would be possibly discrimination, labor disputes, so many subtopics to employment law. So it could be that there's an issue regarding workplace safety and discrimination, sexual harassment, hiring or firing disputes. And I think you would find a lot of these issues interesting. See if any of that piques your interest. So for that one, I would put employment law paralegal duties. And then finally, personal injury. And these are some of the top areas that I think you might take an interest in. Personal injury could be several different things. In personal injury, there's catastrophic and medical malpractice. Catastrophic injuries are where people are hurt very badly in an accident. And also, medical malpractice is where the people that are suing, the person that is suing the hospital or the doctor for something they feel they did incorrectly. So that's why they call it medical malpractice. So I wanted to give you some food for thought. This is where you should get used to using Google to do research on your own. That prepares you for the paralegal field. Google is your friend. So let me know if you have any questions below, and I would be happy to answer your questions. Don't forget to check out my class in the description link below and get on the wait list. That is, the link will take you to directly to the waitlist to find out when the class is launched. But there's also a tab on my website that gives you information about the Paralegal Inner Circle class. So you can either get on the waitlist or click the link below that takes you right to the class information. And don't miss out on that. It's a very reasonably priced class, and it's only 4 weeks long, and you will get so much benefit out of it. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe so you don't miss a video, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.